Ami and I are going to share our tips for preparing for the holiday season, whatever holiday it is. So I'm going to start out by saying what I think you should do is come at this like a professional chef and do what we do in kitchens, which is prepare. Prepare every element and have a plan. Know your recipes. So we're going to get stuck into it here. And you're going to hear me saying this over and over again, is prepare within an inch of your life. So now for the 1 week out, now people might not know this, and this goes back to like what we would do in kitchens as chefs. We would look at what can be made in advance. And this is the point where you make salad dressings. If you could have made them 2 weeks ago. Right. Salad dressings, mix up the ingredients for your dry brine. Croutons, if you make your own homemade croutons, like make croutons, breadcrumbs.
Right. Yeah. You pour through all of your recipes. If there's different, pie crust for sure. If there's elements of recipes, 100% pie crust could have been made in October. So what are you waiting for? Make your pie crust.
Make your pie crust. We're already behind. What Ami does also is even make cookie crusts and freeze them. For cheesecakes and stuff.
Yeah, you could make like cheesecake crusts. You know what I do? I know you don't do this, but I do fruit pies can be fully assembled, filled, assembled, and completely frozen. They can. And then you can bake it from frozen. And Gemma doesn't like to do this. I do like to do this, and it works. So it's pretty amazing.
You have there's a big pie push in your house on the day. So I get it. Yeah. But you absolutely can. Yes, for sure.
But when you're selecting pies, I mean, first of all, most people don't decide that they're going to make all the pies. You know, I am controlling about the pies, and I feel emotional about pies. So I like decide. People love my pies. So I'm like, you know what, I'm particular about pastry. I'm like, you know what, I'll just do it. But I do like things like pecan pie and pumpkin pie can be made the day before easy.
They should be
and
made
they should be made
before.
The day. Cheesecake, which is also a lovely addition to indulgent and delicious.
It's a great one to add to the mix.
2-3 days in advance. You can make cheesecake. You can make your cheesecake topping that you would just do. All of that can be like done very like clear of Thanksgiving. I know you can freeze cheesecake, which I don't normally do, but you know,
I wouldn't be my choice either.
I feel like the crust would go funny, but I don't know if it would or not. I'm just, maybe you can, but definitely assemble your fruit pies. And if you don't want to freeze them, you can even assemble fruit pies and hold them the night before.
Yes.
Also, don't forget about crisps and crumbles, which are, have a very pie-like satisfaction without ever having to roll a pie crust. So easy. You put everything in a pie dish. You make your crumble or your crisp topping ahead of time.
Put it in the freezer.
Yeah. And then you strategize of desserts. Cakes, if you want to make like a bundt cake to feed a lot of people, that can be fully baked, wrapped up well, frozen. And then all you have to do is unwrap it the morning of.
Yeah, and what I like to do is refresh it a little bit, like keep it, have it in foil and refresh it in an oven for a few minutes just to like literally kind of give it a new life. This is also a good time, Ami. So you can like now a week out, you could have done this like the week prior, but shopping. Go do all your shopping. Get your spices, get your mixes, whatever it is. Go do all your shopping. Now there's fresh fruit and veg and stuff that you might want to hold off on.
Right. Sturdier things like carrots, potatoes. Some things will last. Apples will last.
Yes.
You can definitely.
Asparagus won't last.
Yeah, right. Like more tender greens,
tomatoes.
Fresh herbs.
Yeah.
Some of those things won't. Yeah, you may not be able to do, but much of it you can.
Now, can I also say this is a very good time to sit down and make your kind of a plan of work. So what you're going to do for like even on the day, like write down what you're going to do on the day, because then you're like, oh, wait a second. I just realized I do not have time to make cinnamon rolls on the morning of Thanksgiving or Christmas. I need to start that, or it's a no-knead dough. I need to start it the day before. Right. And if you figure that out now, you will always, it still happens to me that you're like, oh no, I didn't realize this dough needs this resting time. Yeah. I just realized when I took a step back and looked at the menu, we actually have two things of very different temperatures in the oven at the same time.
Right.
Do you need now to, allocate a recipe to somebody else? Or like, or do you now sit down and look at, I have too many dishes, so like, this is really good to take that time before it gets hectic. Take a moment, get into your jammies with your wine like Ami is saying she's doing. Which does sound delightful. I'm not criticizing. Oh no, believe me, I've tried.
Lovely.
Try it. I invented it. More of a gin and tonic for me. But do that now, because anything that anything that pops up that maybe needs to be changed, you have time to do it.
Yeah.
And this is what preparation buys you. It buys you time.
Yeah.
And it gives you headspace also.
So okay, so now you've prepped within an inch of your life all the way up until the day before. What are we doing the day before?
So the day before, this is a tip that I learned from my mom, and I see that Kevin's sisters actually do it too. It's really great, because you think like that'll take 10 minutes. It doesn't take 10 minutes. Pull all your dishes. Pull your plates,
a good idea.
Your knives and forks, your side dishes. Pull your serving dishes for the turkey, for the mashed potato, for the whatever. Get it all out and accessible. It saves, you think like, that'll only take a few minutes the day of. Do not leave that until the day of.
Yeah.
Because you'll have enough to deal with.
Yeah.
Get that done before.
And that's actually kind of interesting with the serving dishes and stuff, because depending on the size of your table, are you going to do buffet, or are you going to put all the food in the middle of the table? Maybe like lay out your serving dishes so you know exactly where everything goes and making sure everything fits. If you have a centerpiece, then, and you have your dishes somewhere else, your serving dishes, then you can, but if you like put the empty plates out, you can kind of visualize it too.
Yeah.
And that's really helpful.
Good, yeah, it is.
Yeah. The one thing that always trips me up still, I love the idea of setting the table. Also, again, this is all about like feeling festive. If you get a chance to really enjoy a beautiful table on the day that you're cooking, you're going to get some visual delight out of it. In decent light, look at, if you're using cloth napkins, look at your linens, make sure they're not stained, deal with them, and iron them. I can't tell you how many times I've gone and like pulled out like the fancy napkins, and I'm like, oh, they were washed and like thrown in a basket and totally crumpled, and now I have to go spend like unexpected time ironing linens.
For sure.
You could even do that a week out, just not the plates obviously on your dining table, but like check your linens if you're using linens and get them all ready.
It's these things that you think are little, and then that's a half an hour doing this, and that's a half an hour doing that. Or you realize, you go to do your linens and you have 20 people coming and you've got 14 linens.
Yeah. Oh, I have a really good idea for that one.
What's that?
In the spirit of gifting yourself things.
Napkins are not a gift, Ami.
No, just hear me out. So I use tea towels all the time. I use them to wipe up tables. I use them to wash dry dishes. I use, and they get really worn out. So I don't necessarily need to do this every year, but this year I will probably do this. My linens are all just like, they're really raggedy. They're worn. There's some stains I can't get out of them. So I will go to, we have IKEAs near us, and they have tea towels that are extremely inexpensive, 50 cents each. Or you can look online. But I will go and give everybody a fresh tea towel as a napkin. It's super rustic, but we're very casual in our house. So like nothing is all that fancy. And I will wrap up, and I'll like fold it nicely. Everyone will use a fresh tea towel as their napkin. And then after Thanksgiving, I wash those. Those become my fresh tea towels for the year or two, and the old raggedy ones just become house rags until they're done.
That's great.
Yeah, so it's kind of a fun.
That's a gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah, and they're cheap. They're so cheap.
Are.
Yeah, so just a little tip. So back to being on the day before. This is when you can chop up everything. Anything that you are cooking the day of, anything that you have, any vegetable that has to be roasted, any herbs that need to go into a sauce or whatever. Like if you've got a recipe that needs a bunch of herbs, if you have a stuffing that you're not going to make the day before, you're going to make the day of, do all the chopping. Chop the onions, chop the celery, chop all the parsley and the thyme and all the herbs that you need. Put them in a Ziploc bag in order of or some sort of reusable container, and you put them.
I just say that to that note, I've learned this. Put the onions in a Ziploc bag and other stuff in the containers, because you'll have to throw away the container. After the onion.
Oh, I guess so. I guess so.
I've had to throw away containers.
Yeah, we wash and reuse our Ziploc bags until they get holes in them. So
really?
Yeah, we save them all. You just wash them. Unless it's held like raw meat.
How do you dry them out though?
You just hang them like on a water bottle or whatever else is like, you just kind of, and then you like it dries after like a day. It's,
okay. Do you know what? I don't know why I'm questioning that, because I do it when we get the food in the compostable bags. I take the food out, I let them dry on the counter, and they're dry like in minutes, and then I save them and use them again.
Yeah. Yeah. So, unless it's held raw meat or something like that, I always wash and reuse them. So anyway, you like chop up anything that you can just then open up a bag or open up a container and dump it in a pan to saute, throw it on a baking sheet to bake, get everything ready. Literally, I think the only thing that this doesn't work for are apples, which can get brown, and potatoes that can get brown. But both apples and potatoes can be totally prepped and held in water.
Lovely.
So yeah,
absolutely.
You just eliminate all of the chopping out of your life.
Yeah, this is funny. At the last minute, if somebody says, I'm on my way, what can I bring? I couldn't bring a salad, or can I get something extra? Will I bring an extra dessert? It's like, no, we already have a lot of stuff. We talked about this before. Ina says no to this. A bottle of wine. I would say bring a bottle of wine. Number one, in Ireland, you'd never show up empty-handed. You'd always show up with a bottle of wine if you were to be empty-handed. I'm doing air quotes now if you're watching on YouTube. But Ina says no, because then the host feels under pressure to open that bottle for that person. I know you said you feel that when you bring a bottle of wine somewhere, you want them to open it because it's a bottle of wine that you like.
Oh, I don't bring a bottle of wine that I'm desperate to try.
No.
I
just bring a bottle of wine, and I never would expect it to be opened.
No,
well, she said there is an expectation. And a reminder, don't bring flowers. Remember?
Yes, flowers are hard because the host has to deal with it. But you know what is an unexpected hostess present that I've been given?
What?
Is a bag of granola. Like a homemade, or a jar of granola. Because look, so much of the dinner is like sort of, you don't need it, but like it's lovely because after you've hosted, the next day you get this, like someone's made you breakfast.
That's nice.
It's so nice and it's so unexpected and it's great. I think that's a lovely, lovely gift. And we have a really delicious granola recipe on Bigger Bolder Baking.
That's true.
And that you should make and package up for your friends.
Yeah. Can I just say this before we move on to the day of? Yeah. The day before, if you're doing cinnamon, people often, we see this on the website. There's a huge spike around the holiday season for French toast casseroles, for not as much pancakes and stuff because they're harder to cook off, but like the bigger dishes, the cinnamon rolls, the morning buns, all those things. Make your dough, roll it, get them into the pan, cut in the fridge, proofing overnight. Do not mess with cinnamon roll dough the morning of the holiday.
Yeah.
So do all that stuff the day before. Now we're going to talk about the day of, Ami.
Okay.
We're taking the day off.
That's it. I'm all done. So what do you got, Gemma? What are you doing first thing day of?
I have on my list here, communicate to your guest. Wow, I'm really stuck on this one.
I always think you tell your guests to, like, maybe if you're planning on serving dinner around 4, we do later.
Earlier.
I just tell everyone to come at 3.
You should lie. Definitely.
No, not because they're late, because I want everyone to hang out and have a glass of champagne and feel good and be happy. Hang out with me. I like company in the kitchen.
Oh. No. Hold on a second now.
You don't want company in the kitchen?
One of my things is be prepared that people will be in the kitchen on top of you. Those are actually my words.
But is that a wrong thing?
No, it's not a wrong thing.
I want people to be on top of me.
This should be therapy. As if every time I host something, people are on top of me in the kitchen talking to me as I'm pulling an 18-pound bird out of the oven.
Yeah, but then you have to
It absolutely is the heart of the house. It's where everybody gathers.
Sure.
Naturally, everybody over the centuries have done this.
Yeah.
It just can be hard on the chef.
Mm-hmm.
So it's lovely. But here's the thing. If you're prepared and you have your mashed potatoes are done and you have your turkey is resting or whatever it is, you do have the headspace and the moment to stop and to talk to that person and not think what other 15 is my gravy burning.
Right.
So being prepared does allow for, while you're cooking Thanksgiving dinner, to Ami to walk into your face and start telling you about her stuffing. Okay?
Okay,
so
fine.
be prepared for that.
Fine. I'll be prepared to give you space. Okay. So what are we doing? The day of.
Okay, the day of. So the day of, make sure that your meat is sitting out at room temperature to let it get to room temperature for a few hours. They always recommend that.
For a few hours, like a turkey or something?
Okay, I'm not going to give you an exact, yes,
Yeah.
I do. I leave it out for a few hours. You'll find times on the internet.
Yeah.
Do what you feel comfortable with.
Right.
I let the puppy sit out.
Yeah.
Because you do not want a very, very cold piece of meat going into an oven for a long, extended period of time.
Sure. It takes a really long time.
Yeah. Get on your potatoes for mashing. Pull out all that stuff that you put into a fridge. Let your vegetables sit out for a few hours. Raw carrots are fine. Sure. Have your eyes on all those things. As they say in Ireland, better to be looking at it than looking for it.
Sure, absolutely.
So, Ami, when you're, filling me in on all your goings on, I'm not one wondering where my onions are.
Okay, my biggest tip, pies take a long time. They can take whatever pies you're baking that day, if you're baking pies, take an hour and 15 minutes sometimes. And then they have to rest all day before you're ready to cut into them. So wake up as early as you can, get your first pie in the oven, and then stop, make yourself coffee, make yourself breakfast, sit down and fuel before you go on. Because if you don't stop and do that, you are going to be hungry and cranky, and you'll probably make mistakes, and everything will feel disorganized. Just take care of yourself.
Yes.
You'll feel good because a pie is in the oven, so something's happening.
That's great. That's a good point. I think I'm kind of realizing that the day of is a little bit, the majority of the work is done. Mm-hmm. Now it's bringing it all together. I will say, don't be afraid to delegate. Mm-hmm. Kevin, set the table. The bin is full. Don't take out the bin. Get somebody else to take out the bin. There's 15 people in your house.
Yeah.
Delegate. Get somebody to. Do not start pouring wine for people as get somebody else to do that. You know what I mean? I would say delegate.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm projecting right now. Can you see? Can you sense that?
So, Gemma, it actually leads me to ask. I want to ask you, with all of this talk about cookies, what are you going to make this year? Do you have your list of favorite cookies? Or let me put it to you this way. What are your traditional must-haves?
For cookies, since, starting Bigger Bolder Baking, I would say Linzer cookies, mm-hmm. which are just so delicious.
Right. And for anyone who doesn't know, right, they are...
It's a hazelnut cookie. Uh-huh. It's a cookie. They are Austrian. Mm-hmm. And a hazelnut dough, thinly rolled out, crisp cookie sandwiched together with a little bit of, I think I like to put raspberry jam. I think traditionally it's red currant jam.
Uh-huh.
I can't remember. Yeah, I think so. And then powdered sugar on top. Mm-hmm. And the powdered sugar and the jam in the middle and the crisp cookie and it all sandwiched together is just heaven. Really a very special, and you can do different shapes. Linzer traditionally are, and we can show the ones that we have on the website. They're round and with a kind of a scalloped edge. You can do different shapes. You can do stars.
Yeah.
Very lovely. And then
and beautiful.
Another, and kind of classy. Another one that I absolutely adore. Olivia Crouppen, who you have met, Ami, and some of you might remember Olivia's name from many years ago working with me. She introduced me years ago to a snowball cookie.
Oh, yeah. Those are the best.
So a snowball cookie is also called a wedding.
Yeah, Mexican
wedding cookie. Mm-hmm. And it's a very short dough. And by short, I mean a lot of butter and quite crumbly. But they hold together into this little ball. It is made with ground pecans. Mm-hmm. And, your regular butter and sugar and all the nice things. And bake them. You dip them in powdered sugar. You dip them again in powdered sugar. And they just disappear in your mouth.
Yeah, they are so good. I love those cookies.
And Olivia, very like you, Ami, is quite generous with the salt.
Yeah.
So you had this cookie that you could, you'd every so often you get a little salt granule in your mouth and they are just gorgeous.
I love those cookies, and I always feel like I have to eat them in secret because I get powdered sugar all over my face, all over.
Not as much of a secret then. They are so lovely, and I will say that in Ireland I didn't grow up with tradition of cookie swaps and cookie giving. Mm-hmm. We would traditionally do these big tins of sweets for roses, Cadbury's, the commercial big boxes.
Yeah.
England and Ireland, very, very similar. Or we would have the tins of the Danish cookies. So that would be a tradition.
Oh, yeah.
But not really anything else.
Yeah.
So for our Irish traditions, we have mince pies, we have cake.
Right.
We never did, and there's not an Irish cookie. Mm-hmm. Oh, and I will tell you one thing, actually, excuse me, I tell a lie. Walker's shortbread.
Oh, yeah. So good.
So you would give that.
Yeah, sure. Delicious, classic.
And that recipe on the website does rock star numbers this time of year.
Yeah, those are so good. And I grew up having those tins of Danish butter cookies, and I still love them. I love seeing them. It's very nostalgic for me.
And that's popular around the world because it's another one. I'm going to say this a few times now, but that's another one that on the website, on Facebook, it strikes a chord with people. People know that blue tin.
Yeah, you have that. You see those tins everywhere. Even us is as a family that just like, my parents had moved here. They didn't grow up with those traditions at all, but we always had a tin of those Danish butter cookies if we had nothing else.
What are you making this year?
So every year, I cannot pass through the holidays without making my rosemary shortbread.
Yeah, we've had those before here.
Yeah, and they are like loved by everyone I make them for. Sometimes, some years I actually make them and gift them, but they're always out at like my cookie table, cookie swaps. And then chocolate gingerbread cookies.
So what's that?
So that is actually, I found this recipe on Martha Stewart's website. And
Love Martha.
It is so good. She actually uses, I've tried to pull back on the ginger before because I was like, wow, she uses it's like a teaspoon or a tablespoon of fresh ginger and then also ground ginger. Yeah. And I was just like, oh, it's going to be too gingery, but it is not. And they are so, so good. They're like soft and moist. And they have like all of that gingerbread flavor, but they also have chocolate and chunks of chocolate in there.
Yeah.
And they are loved, and they are very, very good.
I don't think I've ever had ginger and chocolate together. Honest to God, ever.
It's so special. We should riff on that idea and develop one for the website.
Yeah, nice.
And then I'm often like if I want to do a little extra special, like this is probably the time of year where I'm going to make a batch of macarons or two, and depending on the flavor, whatever my mood is.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And then, okay, so then what about, do you have anything you want to try that's like new? Something that it's just been on your list?
So I wanted to let everybody know that we just released a recipe for a chocolate peppermint cookie.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we researched this one a lot. We wanted to make sure that it stood out from our other kind of soft, chocolate, like brown sugar kind of cookies. So it is very much like a brownie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
as you know. And then you have peppermint sprinkled on top. Now, peppermint and chocolate, peppermint desserts are not something that I grew up with. Kevin loves them a lot.
Yeah.
Like peppermint brownies and things like that. But I have to say that cookie is really special. It's really soft, like just baked until it's doughy, very rich, and then the peppermint on top is really delicious.
Chocolate peppermint is just classic, just one of those classic flavors of the holidays, I think. I mean, they're good any time of year, but I love that.
Yeah, it definitely is something like that Kevin would have grown up with that I didn't.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not that but I appreciate them. And I will say we did just revamp our ginger snap cookies on the website. With step-by-step photography, and we updated the recipe. Those are the kind of cookies that I grew up with. So in the supermarket, you'd always have ginger snap cookies, and you would have them because they're hard and crisp. Yeah. They're the kind of biscuits. They're biscuits that we would have them all year round. Those are the kind of things that I gravitate towards, that I have nostalgia towards.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those are my new cookies. What is so what's new that you're doing this year? Are you doing any?
Yeah, so like I had this one idea that I've had for like 5 years now, and for whatever reason I like passed the holidays and I never make them, but I want to do this sort of mashup. You know what a pinwheel cookie is, right? We've done it on the website, right? So I have this shortbread recipe of mine that I really love, and then I don't know if you're familiar with Dory Greenspan's World Peace cookies.
No.
It's like a chocolate souffle, but it's like they're like crumbly, but they're like soft and tender, and they are
like a dessert. Like you'd put stuff on them for a dessert, probably, or are they just a cookie?
No, they're just a cookie.
Okay,
just a cookie. Yeah, but they are so good. They're all over the internet. They got renamed. They were like something else, but then they got at some point someone renamed them World Peace cookies because they thought if everybody had this cookie, there would be world peace. So like what I want to do is make a batch of my shortbread and then that world peace cookie and turn them into pinwheel cookies because they're like these two really like lovely cookies. And I feel like they would work really well as a pinwheel cookie. And I've had this idea for a really long time and I just have to get around to doing it.
Yeah. That sounds nice. That's interesting.
Yeah.
A little bit different.
And then the other thing I've been thinking about is thumbprint cookies, like jam thumbprint cookies, which are like, pretty basic. But I wanted to do something a little bit different. Like I wanted to do like a black pepper shortbread with like a vanilla jam or like black sesame with like a yuzu marmalade or like I wanted to like riff on that idea and into something a little bit more exciting. So I think those are the things I'm going to try and see if they work. And if not, I always have my old traditional favorites.
That's true. The fancy. Okay. Let me know how that works out for you.
I will.
As always, thank you to everybody for listening and for watching us on YouTube. Subscribe wherever you listen and watch your podcasts. And we'll see you back here again really soon. From HRN and the Bold Baking Network, you are watching the Knead To Know Baking Entertainment Podcast.